Hello humans, it's just Martine, and we're counting down to the end of Becca's Bookoplathon. It's Monday afternoon, almost 5 p.m., and I'm updating right now because, like every Monday around this time, my Wi-Fi has been flickering in and out for the past hour. Which is the only reason I've got any reading done so far today. I did in fact read almost 10% of Book of the Little Axe while there was no Wi-Fi. Then there was Wi-Fi, I finished editing my video. I was just finishing the description and stuff, and the Wi-Fi went out again. So hopefully I'll be able to finish scheduling now when I get back from dinner, which would be in a couple minutes here. Since I only have like 3 days of Bookoplathon left, I am not going to be rolling again, and I still have 2 books to go. This is about where I am in each of them. Just kidding, I'm like 60% of the way through Book of the Little Axe, but pretty much, you get it, pretty much. I've barely read any Kingdom Keepers 3, so the next few days should be very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to pull this off, to be honest with you. Right then, solid. It's 8:33, I have a little less than half an hour before I have my final meeting for the night, so I'm just going to sit here, cozied up in my blanket, per usual, and get some reading done, just like 2% or so of Book of the Little Axe, so I can get to 70% and make another mark on my little reading board. Right, so let's just pretend that last hour of my life never happened and get dressed for bed and read for the rest of the night. That's the plan. That's what we're gonna do. Things don't have to have happened if you don't want them to have happened. That's not actually a healthy coping mechanism, but in this case, the situation is not big enough to warrant like an actual meltdown. I'm just being dramatic. Happy Tuesday. I've been sitting here outside watching YouTube videos and alternating between that and reading for the last little while. I'm just waiting for my Bible study to start, and then hopefully I'm gonna go home and finish Book of the Little Axe tonight, even if I have to bribe myself by alternating between reading a couple pages and watching a YouTube video. We'll see what happens. It's a little past 8 and I just got out of Bible study, so I'm walking back to my dorm room. There is quite a bit of lightning in the sky right now, so I have 2 hopes. 1, that it will not start raining before I get back to my room, and 2, that I will not get electrocuted. There's a chance, so wish me luck. Hopefully it will be a good news if you're seeing this clip, but I guess we'll see. It's just past 11, but I wanted to update you on my thoughts of Book of the Little Axe before I went to sleep tonight. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's a well-written historical fiction book, but it's one of those rare historical fiction books that does not center around World War II, which I know sounds maybe like such a cynical thing to say, but I just feel like most historical fictions revolve around World War II, and there's only so much of that you necessarily want to read. And logically, I know that's not true. I know there's historical fiction about plenty of other time periods, but I just feel like that's so much of the historical fiction genre, at least the exposure to it that I've had. So this was a nice change of pace for that. As a historical fiction piece, it centered on an interesting time and place in the American West in the 1800s. It dealt with colonizing Europeans and Blacks and Native Americans, and it also touched on some of the history of Trinidad and Tobago, which was interesting. I have lots of friends here at school who are from Trinidad and Tobago, and I played steel drums my senior year of high school, and we learned a bit about the culture there, but it was interesting getting this like historical fiction perspective. I don't know exactly how accurate it is. I'd have to look into that, but it's definitely not the focus of much literature, I feel like, especially English literature and American-centric literature. I feel like people often just separate the United States and Trinidad and Tobago, even though they're fairly close together in the world, and both are great examples of European colonization and how hurtful it could be to the native people there. So on the whole, I enjoyed it. There were a couple reasons I didn't give it 5 stars. 1, it's historical fiction is one of those genres where it's really hard for me to give something 5 stars. Like, this was 4 stars. It was good. It was really well written historical fiction, and I felt like it was very creative, but it just wasn't a 5 stars for me feeling wise. And then on top of that, like, it jumped around in the timeline and switched perspectives a lot, and even though it always let you know what year you were in and whose perspective you were reading from, it took a while to settle into it, especially because like the first several several chapters I felt were from this one person's point of view at this one point in time, and then suddenly we were jumping back. Like, I read the first couple chapters and I thought I knew what the book was about, and then I went to check on my library's website where I checked it out from, and I was reading the summary, and it was like, Trinidad in this amount of time or whatever, and I was like, we've literally not seen that yet. Like, he was like, it spans 3 generations or whatever, and I was like, I haven't seen that yet. So that was kind of confusing to jump into, but I felt like by the end of the book I was used to jumping back and forth between them, and so it didn't take as long to get settled in each voice as it did in the beginning, because sometimes we would jump and then I would have trouble focusing for like a couple pages and I'd be like, what's going on? But I felt like by the end I was equally invested in all the perspectives and I could follow along with it just fine. Those are all my thoughts. It's the 29th of September. I'm not going to force myself to read 500 pages of Kingdom Keepers by the end of the day tomorrow, so this will be my last completed read for Bookoplathon. And although I'm kind of disappointed that I'm not going to finish all of my rules, at least I started Kingdom Keepers 3 and I finished all my other rules, plus some extra books in there that I had to read for school or like were in the middle of when the month started. So this reading month was a lot more successful than I thought it was going to be. At some point later this week I'll wrap up like all the books that I did read for Bookoplathon in this vlog and like what prompts I read them for. For right now I'm going to go to bed, so good night. Happy Wednesday. It's approaching 11 a.m. so I'm headed to lunch. It is beautiful out. It's currently 73 degrees, which never happens this early in the year in Florida. Central to South Florida. This is amazing. It's almost 5:30 and I'm about to meet up with some friends to go to spaghetti dinner. It'll be a good, safe, socially distanced time with plenty of spaghetti, which we love. So far, the only reading I've done today, it's the last day of Bookoplathon. It's like 50 pages of Kingdom Keepers. I read that while I was doing office hours for my organization. So I'm now 20% of the way through that. Still not going to finish it today, and I'm not gonna care. Let's go get that spaghetti. Oh my goodness, I just finished editing my 48-hour readathon vlog, and it is, I think, the funniest vlog on my whole channel. So if you want to check it out, I highly recommend. All right, now it's time to get down to serious business. Let's talk about the books that I read this month while my video is exporting. I'm sorry if my computer starts making loud sounds as it tries to do this, but I don't care. We're opening up GoodReads and we're gonna go through all of them one by one. This is probably the closest to a wrap-up I'll ever do. Just like doing my rolls was the closest thing I'll ever get to doing a TBR on my channel. It's just not my style, to be honest. Big shout out to people who can do wrap-ups and TBRs. I could never. Couldn't tell you why either. My personality just, it doesn't shine in that way. I feel like, okay, we're going to our reading stats. Ba-da-da! This month, I read 12 books. I'm fine with that. That's the same number of books I read last month. However, I read like 400 more pages this month than last month, which is almost a whole book. So I never like firmly have a page count for a month. GoodReads just goes by when you like finish the book, and that's fine with me because every month it rolls into the next, if that makes sense. So like right now I'm reading Kingdom Keepers. That's going to count for next month. Just like a book that I started last month counted for this month, so it all works out in the end. But going one by one, okay, I read A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor for the prompt to read LGBTQIA plus rep, 4 stars. I read The Deep for the prompt to read an Own Voices story, 4 stars. Celestial Bodies for the prompt to read a translated work, 4 stars. The Story of Dr. Dolittle for my community shelf pick to read a classic, 3 stars. Not That Kind of Guy for the prompt to read the lowest rated book, 2 stars. The Year of the Flood for the prompt to read a book set in the future, 4 stars. Mary Poppins for 1 middle grade book, 4 stars. Anne of Green Gables for the prompt to read a book with nature on the cover, 5 stars. And Book of the Little Axe as a chance card, 4 stars. And then there was one book I didn't finish, and it was Kingdom Keepers 3 as a middle grade book. I'm fine with this because I started it, first of all, but then second of all, the only reason I'd had to do a double middle grade was because I rolled and landed on the prompt for a foiled cover, and I don't have any books with a foiled cover, so I rolled again, and then you have to get 2, but it was fine. I did good. And then besides all of those books, I also read A Brave New World for school, 4 stars. Voyager by Diana Gabaldon, which I had started last month, 5 stars. And Beloved for a school extracurricular book club thingy-mabob, 3 stars. It's around 10 p.m. and I'm about to start getting ready for bed / relaxing, meaning I'm not looking at my computer anymore. So I'm going to put my headphones in and I'm going to listen to some of White Fragility. I started it last night. I only listened to like the foreword, so I don't have many thoughts so far. I'm sure it's going to be great, but I just haven't listened enough to tell you my opinions. I feel like you can't rate something like that book, but yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I've been waiting for a while to include this footage in a video because I wanted to make sure It was totally accurate. So throwback to when I got this news. Guys, I just got a YouTube comment from my mom on my reading vlog where I was talking about Lazarus. And she said she pre-ordered it for me. I could cry. It is probably not in the best interest of my TBR to reread that book right away, but I just might. I'm shook. Thanks, Mom. And now, today, I have in my hands my finished copy of Lazarus, thanks to my mom. She's so beautiful. I love her. I want to read her for Halloween immediately. Spooky vibes. I'm so glad to own this book. I'm ready to have fun ghosty times again with these characters. So if you guys are looking for a fun October read, this is my recommendation for you. I love this book. I got an art copy from NetGalley. I gave it 5 stars. This book is one of my new loves. My mom also sent candy, which we love, socks. I'm pretty sure she saw me talk about how cold my feet get and how awesome those candy corn socks are, so she provided more warm socks. Thank you, Mom. And more spicy chips, because you can never have enough. You can never have enough. So this is my new favorite possession. This book right here. I love it. I love it. That is all. The event tonight was an online one where we all played Among Us in the Residence Quad, and it kept assigning me as imposter, but I'd never played the game before, and I was terrible. I was awful at it. One time, I didn't see that there was somebody else there when I killed someone, and so when they were like, I literally saw Green do it, I was like, yeah, guys, it was me, I'm sorry. So that was my night. I would like to interrupt this reading vlog to talk about what just happened tonight on my channel while I was out painting pottery. I'll talk about the pottery painting some other time. Yes, I was safe. It was good. I had fun. My mom has shared one of my videos on her Facebook page before. She has, I don't know how many, an absurd amount of Facebook friends because she's a lovely person and everyone wants to be friends with her, as they should. And she loves lots of people back. And it got a good number of views because of that. And to date, it's my most watched video. Except today, because my mom shared my video about living with my chronic illness, my disability, and her Facebook audience was very receptive to it. And they have left such sweet messages both on my video and on her Facebook post, and messaged her separately and contacted me in other ways to let me know how it made them feel. And that's why I made that video. But even though I knew like my mom could share it or something, I didn't necessarily think anybody would really see it or care. And among my regular YouTube audience and the new subscribers I've gotten because of it, whether through my mom's page or otherwise, and through them watching the video, I think this has to be the most rewarding thing I've ever tackled on my channel thus far. I know it's only been a short while. I feel seen, and I feel loved, and I feel like other people feel seen too, which is exactly what I wanted in the video. And that's why I refilmed it, because I didn't like how I handled it the first time. I got some new subscribers from it. That's cool. Here's the craziest thing. That video in the last 48 hours has had 115 new views, making it my most watched video of all time on my channel thus far. I don't care in the future how many views I might ever get. This is going to be the thing that means something to me. Thank you to everyone for watching that. Thank you especially to my BookTube friends for being like, yes, if you want to talk about this, you should, and helping me be brave enough to do it. Thank you. Now back to your regularly scheduled reading content. The most amazing thing just happened. I mean, not amazing for my watch later list, which is just under 70 videos long. But for this reading vlog specifically, amazing thing, I was sitting there watching YouTube. I watched like 2 videos and I was like, kind of want to read. So I'm gonna do my Bible reading really quick first thing, because I haven't done it yet today, and then I'll get kicking on something else. Okay, I feel like I should, and I also want to, but I'm kind of dreading reading more Kingdom Keepers 3 right now. Not because it's not my favorite book ever, because it is, but because I know I'll read like 10 pages and have 20 clips for my Kingdom Keepers 3 vlog. So I guess I'll see you in like 20 clips. Does anybody else play this dangerous game where they eat Cheetos while they're reading a book? Let's see how many fingerprints this has by the end of the night. Hopefully none, but knowing me, it will happen at least once. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm hungry, and this is what I have, and they're already open, so I have to eat them. I have to. All right, I got to page 173 of Kingdom Keepers 3, and I'm gonna stop for tonight because A, it's getting late, but B, it is stressing me out the amount of footage I have for this video already. So I'm seeking opinions from my booktube friends about what I should do about it. So updates to come. But yeah, so I might read a little of something else before bed, but it's about to be 11 o'clock, so I should get ready for bed. But I kind of want more of a snack. Decisions. I just quickly tried to read a summary of Children of Blood and Bone before I move on to the sequel tomorrow, and it turns out I remember like none of what happened. That's cool. I didn't really think I knew what happened, but I was reading and I was like, what? But I swear I read it. I know exactly when I read it too. I just don't know what I read apparently. Granted, I listened to it on audiobook, and sometimes with fantasy that just like does not stick right. I was reading it when I was first moving into college at the beginning of my freshman year because I remember pacing around the Airbnb that my family had rented to stay at for those few days while we were moving and getting settled into orientation and stuff, and listening to it. And like as I was reading the summary, I remember the first part. Like I was reading the first part of the summary, it's like, yeah, I remember that. Okay, this might not be so bad. And then like all the plot happened and I was like, literally what? But I remember the beginning. I mean, should I have expected myself to remember the audiobook format of a fantasy from over 2 years ago that I read during one of the busiest weeks of my entire life? Probably not, but there you have it. So I'm gonna go to bed. All right, I'm going to end off this vlog right here. It's the weekend. I won't get much reading done. Bookoplathon is done anyway, and this is technically a Bookoplathon vlog, so I'm just gonna cut it off. But don't worry, I'll have more reading vlogs coming soon enough. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. How was your reading month in September? What are your October reading goals, etc.? And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content on Wednesdays and Sundays. And until next time, bye humans, bye!